It's Mike and Matt in the morning. I'm Mike. That's Matt. Matt, how are you doing today?
Never better. How are you, Mike?
Doing very well. We have an exciting new kind of trend we're about to be kicking off right here. We're going to be introducing some of our own internal colleagues and coworkers here. Right off the bat, hailing from Grand Haven, if I'm getting it right, maybe somewhere here around the Michigan Mid or so. We got our very own Andrea Peck joining us today to share some of her favorite songs, the little stories behind them. But Andrea, I pass the mic to you. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, you got the mitten perfect, right in the right area. Grand Haven, this time of year is beautiful. It's like my favorite time of year here in the summer. I think where Matt lives in Buffalo, we have like a similar climate. So we're just like under snow and ice for the majority of the year. And it's like, you know, life is happening. The clouds are parting. The seasonal depression is coming off, and we get to live and feel again. So I love that. But yeah, I am new to the Radish team. I've been here for a few months. I've been hired and brought on as the client services manager. And Matt and I have actually worked with each other in the past, which is great for the sake of keeping things on brand and on theme, like getting the band back together and hanging out, working together again. But yeah, fun things about me outside of work. I'm a new mom. I have a 1-year-old daughter, and big connection with music for me is dance. I've been a dancer since I was young. I've been a teacher this is my 27th year teaching. And in this last year, I opened my own studio. So like if my heart is dance, the soul is music, right? Like you don't have one without the other. So I'm super excited to talk about some of the music that I love.
It is beautiful. You could put that on a t-shirt. That was a great quote.
Thanks.
Prior to starting off with your song one, Andrea, any lead up into kind of, is there a path we're following on any of these songs, or a little scattershot all over the place?
I think it's a little scattershot. I tried to pick, like, to be frank, and I had said this to you earlier today, Mike, when I was asking, like, can I have songs that are not clean, like explicit lyrics? And you're like, yeah, that's fine. Being a new mom, I feel like the music that I listen to is kids' music right now, or that seems to be what's always on, whether I want to listen to it or not. And I'm back into dance. My studio that I opened is focused just on adults, so I get to kind of be more free with the music that I get to listen to and choose to have in class. So this music that I pick is, I feel like, stuff that I wouldn't use in dance class, right? Because of the content, of the type of music it is. It's stuff that I enjoy listening to because it's almost like I get to turn off that part of my brain, like the choreographer part, the dancer part, and just enjoy the music instead of thinking about what this looks like performance wise, and also like what speaks to the style or the things that I love about music. So it's a little bit of everything. And I think I really tried to focus in on, like, if there's a band that I really like what was my gateway song or what was my gateway album to them. And yeah, and that's why I put it on the list. So
awesome. Well, let's get rolling right off the bat. For something that, truthfully, I have noticed, Andrea, whenever you screen share, maybe on day one, I'm like, does Andrea have a Band of Horses background on her computer? So this has to mean a lot to you. Tell us a little bit more while we got him on here.
I love Band of Horses, like one of my all-time favorite bands. And I feel like I can say that confidently because I was introduced to them in probably my mid-20s. So I can say, like, my brain was fully developed. Like, it's a good choice. It wasn't just like the pop music that you listen to or was on the radio when you're younger. And I've traveled all over to see them in concert. I've seen them in concert many times. Such a vibe, so chill, but also fun. Like, they can make it more upbeat and dancey because, like, a lot of the music is pretty chill. But yes, great call out. That is a Band of Horses poster that I have on my screensaver. And I think I've had it for like 15 years. I think it's from like 2011 or something. And I just love it so much. I like art too. And that particular poster is Frida Kahlo and Vincent van Gogh. And I have a dog named Vincent, Ginny, not named after that artist, but I just like it because it makes me think of my dog too. So yeah, And I'm all about like strong women that are in their industry or in their lane, and Frida Kahlo is just, you know, one of those. So
Absolutely. And so I've mentioned this on the show in the past, Andrea. There was a time and place when I'm sure we all worked retail at some point. I know Matt did. Matt and I often talk about songs that are played at the stores that we used to work at. And so for a stretch of time, I worked in Urban Outfitters for a while. And there was a decent chunk of the music that was put on in that place that I just went, okay, kind of thing, in one ear, right out the other. Band of Horses was not one of those for me, in the sense of it was a standout the first time I ever heard it, where I went, hang on, I gotta see, because we would have like a CD changer of like 6, and I would go to the now playing rack. I'm like, who is this, kind of thing? And I stumbled upon this very album right here. I think, I don't know a ton about it, so if you know names, please fill in the blanks, but his vocals have always been such a standout part of the sound to me that it was one of the first things that I heard. And you're spot on, where like there are very subdued and restrained and beautiful songs, but then there's some that like push a bit harder on the album. And it's just with his voice being the kind of guiding light of it all, is such a unique take, just because to me, he doesn't super sound like somebody else where I go, oh, you remind me of XYZ. I don't know about either of you.
yeah, Ben Birdwell is his name. And I know like the other members of the band, I think, have like changed over the years, or they've gotten like somebody else comes in, or they decided to like switch out the drummer or something like that. But he's been the consistent front runner. And gosh, Iron and Wine is another band that I enjoy. They're not on this list, but they got together, Ben from Band of Horses and the lead singer from Iron and Wine, and it was they called it Sing Into My Mouth, if I remember correctly. So they had a few songs that were released probably like 10 years ago. So yeah, I love anything that they get into. But I think if it reminds me of anyone else or thinks of something, like maybe slightly like Neil Youngish, like his voice a little bit, only on certain songs, not all of them. And I still think it's like completely different artists and things, and I enjoy Band of Horses more, but like that's one voice that kind of reminds me of it. Like if no one has heard of them before, that's like one comparison I would make.
That's interesting you say that, because I'm not sure if you know this, but you may be in the presence of one of the biggest Neil Young fans on earth. And I've never actually made that connection. I can hear it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen a little bit more. I honestly don't know that much about Band of Horses. I know that I like them. I know that I have them on a playlist that I made years ago called Dad Rock Essentials. So I have a list of things that, at least in my brain, not necessarily sounds like, but fits the same vibe. And I mean, to go down the list, I'm going with, you know, The War on Drugs, Wilco, REM, Steely Dan, My Morning Jacket, The National, you know.
Oh yeah, those are good ones.
So a lot of stuff like that comes to mind when I hear them, maybe only because I mostly listen to them when I'm listening to that playlist. So
do you know what album your thing is from? Is it the one that I had picked is Cease to Begin, but Everything All the Time is another really good one.
Yeah, it's off of that. It's just The Funeral, which I assume is probably their biggest song, and that's why I knew of it to put it on there. But
yeah.
Dig it. Well, we are into Northern Wind by City and Color here. Side project of Dallas Green of Alexis on Fire on this side of it, but
totally different sound.
I was gonna say, like, when I discovered it was him, it was shocking to me, kind of thing.
Yeah. I was introduced to City and Color around the same time, probably, of Band of Horses. Again, like I think it's like that coming of age story, right? Like you have everything, and I grew up in a really small town in northern Michigan, so like the music was, the radio stations there only played certain things. You're really only exposed to what other people are exposed to around you. So this was like my venture out. Like in college, after college, and like, what do I really like, and not just like what other people around me like. So these two bands hold a very special place in my heart. I love them both. And yes, I didn't even know of Alexis on Fire, but then when I learned about Dallas Green and I started looking on that, I was like, oh, let me check that out. I probably like it. And I was like, what? Like, this is not what I was expecting. It was so different. But I love this album. The last album of Band of Horses, their early stuff and a lot of early City and Color stuff are like, I think you guys use the term like front to back albums, or like no skip albums. I love them. I think they're great. This was not my gateway song to City and Color. That one was called Hello, I'm in Delaware. It was the first song I heard by them. So chill, so low key, like. But this is the one that I felt the impact of the lyrics of it. We were talking about screen names the other day, right? Like someone had like their aim. So I used the name Northern Wind a lot on like if I use screen names for stuff, like I'm from the north, it's cold, I like the song, I love the lyrics, so it just sort of fit. I liked it.
I love that. And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, I have to imagine that Hi, I'm in Delaware is a Wayne's World reference of when they're standing in front of the green screen. So, I mean, kudos to him on that one. But I also love the AIM connection, Andrea, just because AIM pops up oddly often in our discussions. I feel like it's just was such a massive part of our lives that it's inescapable in a world of free texting and things like that. So I'm always intrigued to see what everyone's screen name is and things like that.
Yeah, it's very telling, sometimes embarrassing, right?
Oh yeah. I've heard some good ones back in the day. And I remember some of my friends as well. They were wild. But we got Get 'em High going on here. Andrea, why'd you add this one on here?
So this album is another no skip album for me. And I know like it's hard. Some of the artists that I like are now problematic, right? Like I don't listen to a whole lot of like newer Kanye or haven't in years, but this was his debut album and I knew who he was. I was 19 years old. It was my birthday. My friend took me to an Usher concert, so that tells you how long ago that was. And Kanye West opened for Usher. So it was like just when the song Jesus Walks was getting popular, and it was one of the most electric performances I think that I had witnessed, and I immediately became a fan. Like I liked it before, and I have a love for hip hop and rap, and so talk about like songs that I definitely wouldn't use in a dance class. These are those songs, right? Like I wouldn't want the little children of the world bopping to this, even though I enjoy it. Probably their parents wouldn't if I had that in there. So and this is something my partner and I have a love for. He's like a huge hip hop fan. And so in our early years of when we were getting to know each other and dating, we would talk a lot about albums and just put them in. And I don't know if you guys like to do this, but we used to, when we were younger, we'd get an album like a CD, and the slip inside the CD was like the part of the experience, right? Like looking at the artwork and the photos and getting to read the lyrics. Like when I was younger, they didn't have things like Google to like look up lyrics, right? So it's like sometimes you thought you understood what they meant, but they didn't. This came out after Google, so I could have done that, but I still had that, I guess, ritual of buying a CD, looking at the art of the CD, but looking at the art of the cover album, and then like flipping through the booklet that it came with to learn more about the music and the artist that you enjoy.
Oh yeah, that is something we've absolutely talked about on here, where, don't get me wrong, I still get excited when a band's new album comes out, but like so much of the ritual aspect, I like how you phrase that is gone. It's perhaps maybe the reason why I buy records still, just to try and attempt to get a feel of the physical media in my hands. But I was somebody who like combed through those booklets so much so, Matt and I have mentioned this before, a few years ago, there was like almost the meme going around for Blink-182's What's My Age Again, where people were like, wait, those are the lyrics to it? And it was always shocking to me because I was like, you didn't comb through and read along to this playing kind of thing. It's just, it was always weird to me where I'm like, no, that was part of the buying experience. I am now also getting this that I could read along to. And also, like you said, there might be additional parts of the layout and illustrations or pictures of the band and things like that.
Yeah. It's crazy to me that people would have that, or they throw it away because they had like the big CD, case that they just stick the CD in. It's like, oh my gosh, why would you? That's like almost, other than the music, like the best parts are like go along with an album with it. But yeah, and this one has Talib Kweli on it, which is another great hip hop artist that I enjoy. Common, I like it. Like probably not as high up there as the other two, but this is a great song off of that album, and not like the ones that you would think of, right? The ones that were like most popular. This is probably like one of the top songs on that album for me.
Yeah, and it is kind of like, I'm sorry, Matt, please go ahead.
No, I would put Talib Kweli and Common way above Kanye on a list of, which who am I to make a list of
I
that?
guess to be fair, like early Kanye, right? Like I think there's a difference between Kanye today and Kanye then, and yeah.
I mean, I get that also, and there was plenty of Kanye that I liked back then. Still, I think that there's a lot out there that's a whole lot better even than the early stuff. That's just my personal opinion. I
feel like that's a big part of just something, regardless of genre, that Andrea, Matt, and I bring up all the time. Where like there's your Blink-182s and things like that. Like they're great, but then there's other people that I have opinions on that are also huge up there that I go, you're not that great, but boy, is there this little band who are writing some of the best songs I've ever heard in my life, kind of thing. And it's just interesting. It hits everybody's ears differently, and it's just always. I love rooting for the underdogs anyway, so I love hearing about kind of who else is out there. But we are on to Ends of the Earth from Lord Huron here. I don't recall how I stumbled upon Lord Huron, but they just like appeared in front of me one day. It wasn't this album. Is there one called Strange Trails or something like that?
That's a great album too. Yeah. Yep.
And it might have just popped up in like a new release, and something that, again, a lost art of buying an album just purely based on the artwork. If you go, this is catching my eye, I think I might like this. I feel like I did the same thing and hit play on Apple Music and went, all right, I'm digging this kind of thing. But Andrea, why is Lord Huron on here?
It's so funny because I was doing, like I said, like part of my process was like, oh, this band I love. So what was like my gateway to them? I couldn't pinpoint it either, like where I had first heard it or if there was someone that introduced me to that. Because I think a lot of times too, like I can remember the person that was like, oh, if you like this, you should listen to, this band. And I can't connect that for me either with this one. But I do know that this was something I liked to listen to when I met my partner who hadn't heard of it before. And now it's like a favorite of us in our household. And it's something we can listen to with, his 11-year-old and Lola, my daughter, who's only one around, like, not that she understands what the words are right now either, but as she gets older, like it would be an appropriate one. But to me, this album, the Strange Trails album, I could listen straight through. They're perfect for like a road trip. Like I think of like driving up in northern Michigan with the windows down and like the trees need to hear this kind of music. Like it's for nature or being out in nature. So I love them. And like, not to bring the cheese to the episode, I don't think my partner and I've ever talked about like, oh, do we have a song? But I think if you asked us like to pick 5, like this one would be on both of our lists. Like, oh yeah, this could be a good option for that.
Yeah, I have a correction to make. I just got a live in the moment update coming through my monitor right here. It was actually my wife, Chelsea, who discovered Lord Huron and shared it with me. So I'm going to give her all the credit in the world.
Go Chelsea.
So it was her. So I'll credit due to Chelsea on that one. But I know exactly what you mean, Andrea. They are in that bucket where I remember sitting at the first house that, speaking of Chelsea and I, ever owned, and just sitting on the back porch on a summer night and like just dim, quiet, enjoying the night, and just quietly playing Lord Huron and things like that, just through a little Bluetooth speaker. Just it fits the vibe so well. Like it's literally as if somebody went, we are writing music that makes you feel one with the outdoors or something like that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think their title too, like living in Michigan, having all the Great Lakes. Like I grew up on Lake Huron, Lord Huron. That also has like a nostalgic pull on my heart. So yeah, love it. Strange Trails is a great one, but this album is really, really good too. So if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend.
Are they the ones who had the like hit song from 13 Reasons Why with Phoebe Bridgers? Was that Lord Huron? If that rings a bell or not.
Don't know. Yeah. I know of the series 13 Reasons Why. I don't know if I know any of the like the specific music that was on there. I know like from the Strange Trails album, like a sound on TikTok is their song that's like been trending for a really long time and has a ton of videos made about it called The Night We Met, which is funny because I think most people think it's about like singing about like, oh, the night I met you and how grateful I am for it, but it's like completely the opposite. It's like, if I could go back to the night we met, so I could never meet you and we would have never had to go through this. But yeah.
Yeah. Classic misunderstood lyrics on TikTok. A common theme. Yeah. So this is the first on the list. You got to tell me everything about this, Andrea. I am not familiar with Jungle at all.
Great. Could just listen straight through any of their albums that I've had. This was my gateway album to them. And in fact, what got me onto them was watching music videos on YouTube. They had worked with this dance troupe. I believe they're out of Amsterdam. The choreographer's name is Eric. Oh, I should have looked it up before we got on here. But they made like a visual album to go with this album, with this dance troupe. And like, really, if you haven't heard of them before, like go to YouTube, watch this music video. The dancing is incredible. There's this song and then another song that was really popular, I think like a few summers ago, called Back on 74. And that was like a dance trend going on too, on social media, the moves that they have from that. And it's so good. So like marrying two loves that I have, like music and the dance. And I think the choreographer just did such a great job of like putting movement to the way something sounds. Like I can't imagine any other type of dancing happening other than like what was put into this music video, which I think like tells me like that was done right. You know, somebody knew what they were doing with that.
Well, now I want to check it out just because there's been some times where I've watched music videos where I feel like what is occurring on screen is actually distracting me and pulling me away from the actual song behind it. So for you to make it sound like, no, it's incredibly cohesive. It is like a perfect fit between the two. I'm going to check that one out. Matt, I know your tastes are a little bit more expansive into different genres than mine. Have you ever landed on Jungle before?
I don't believe I have. I'm kind of trying to look to see if, because I forget names of a lot of things, and it doesn't look like I've ever actually at least played this on Spotify, which, yeah, I don't believe I have. I'm having trouble hearing it super well right now, so I think I'm going to reserve any immediate reaction.
Any judgment for later.
Yeah. From what I can hear, it's really low, but from what I can hear, I think I may like it.
I was going to say that I only ask because it does feel like it's in your wheelhouse, Matt, knowing some of the things that you listen to. All right, we're on to the big dog here. Andrea, you have the honor of being the first person to bring Taylor to the show here. So tell me a little bit, any reason why Midnights, why Sweet Nothing, anything like that?
Yeah, so Taylor Swift in general, I think like Matt and I have talked about this. He's like, she just isn't, what's the big deal about her? And I felt that way for many, many years. My partner's daughter was a big Swiftie, like getting into Taylor Swift. And that was like one of the first things that I was like, I can let me get into it. I love music. We can relate to it. It's something for us to bond over. And I absolutely found a new appreciation for her and her lyrics and the music. And, you know, I think she has said it before, but I think what I found impressive was like, there aren't like 15 different people on the songs. It's really like her and maybe a producer, or sometimes just her. And I don't know, I like that. And again, it's something young girls can look up to that doesn't feel too icky. At least I haven't had that kind of vibe from her. Not all of the music is appropriate, but at least there's like an appropriate version. So I use it a lot in dance class too, because it's popular. The kids love it, especially like the Summer of Eras tour. But Midnights was my gateway album to her, so I'm like a late Swiftie. So the first real album I listened to, this is almost a no skip album for me. There's one song on here, like it's got to get me in the right mood if I'm going to stay and listen to it or skip over it. And it's Snow on the Beach. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this album enough to know that, but I think everybody knows like the ones that have been on the radio a lot off of Midnights, like Bejeweled and Karma. But I love this one. I love the lyrics on this one. I love the cadence of it, the melody of it. It's great.
And I'll say Snow on the Beach is a skip for me, so I know what you mean, so do not feel bad about that. Is Midnight's your favorite because it's the first entry point for you, or like I know we've talked about you've gone back and listened to old and new. Does it always stick out to you?
I think it does. Again, it's always like, it's like Band of Horses and Northern Wind. Like I'll always think about the first time I heard them, or like what was the first song I listened to. So I think Midnights will hold a special place in my heart for that. But if the Band of Horses and City and Color didn't give away that I'm like a deep down sad girl at heart. So I love Tortured Poets Department. I think that is a great piece of work. And then I love Folklore. Like you and I have talked about Folklore before, like ultimate sad girl album. And I love The Lakes. I think that might be The Lakes, Cardigan, The One. There's so many good ones on Folklore, but yeah, they make me reflect. They make me feel something, make me sad. Probably gonna like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. Awesome. As we go into the next one right here, Lucifer by Jay-Z, we're dipping back into the Black Album. So what's going on with this one, Andrea?
Love this album. This is a no skips album for me. This was, again, I think one of the things when I was discovering the kind of music that I like to listen to, like one that had my little booklet going through. I'm reading the lyrics, I'm understanding. I feel grown up because I can buy this album that has, you know, the explicit lyric advisory on there, and I don't need permission or to ask my mom to buy it for me, right? Like I think this album came out the year I graduated high school, so it was like a coming of age time too. But it's great. I love the beats on this album. Whether it's cringy or not, I could probably sing the album front to back with it if anybody would want to hear that. But yeah, this song specifically I really like. Again, I was trying to pick one off of the album that maybe if people like, they might know 99 Problems, right? Because that was like a really big one off this album, but maybe they haven't listened to other ones, or they know like Dirt Off Your Shoulder, because those were like the ones that were popular that had music videos. So this is one like I would, if I were somewhere and I heard it, I'd be like, stand up, like, okay, who played this? Who played this on the jukebox? I want to know. I want to see who did that.
So I have a love-hate relationship just staring at the artwork right here of the parental advisory sticker itself, where like I remember those becoming a thing, unless I don't know, it feels like a 90s thing, right, Matt, when those started popping up onto there. And
Tipper Gore, I believe.
Tipper Gore, Tipper Gore is a big push. It was her,
so,
Just Say No, but of her time and of the music industry.
It was a literal stamp on all of these now, which seeing it still to this day pulls me back. I'm like, that's such a wildly 90s logo that it's nostalgic. But as someone else who was like, boy, I wish that wasn't on my CD cover or anything like that. It just like took away from the artwork a little bit sometimes. Just, it's funny you even mentioned that. But was this early, like the first parental advisory CD you ever bought?
It was one of the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I might need to like think a little bit harder about what that is. But yeah, when you talked about like your 6 CD changer, like I used to have a car and it was in the trunk. So I had to like figure out what 6 CDs do I want to listen to like for the next week. I'll just like load them up. But this was like a constant for me in there. So
Absolutely. I'm trying to think if Limp Bizkit $3 Bill Yo was my first one.
That would have been in there for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much earlier than this, for sure.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's gotta be something in that new metal era or something like that.
Dookie? I mean,
I'd have to look if Dookie had the sticker or not, if it times out to having parental advisory.
I'd have to look that one up. I don't know.
Yeah. But Andrea, we're on to Seasons Waiting on You by Future Islands, a band whose name I know, but truthfully I've never dove into. So please tell me all you can about them.
Yeah, to be completely honest, I don't know a ton about this band. This particular song, I feel like has a big spot in my heart. Again, another time of change for me. I was going through a lot. I had gotten married, gotten divorced, decided to go back to school, and I think maybe it's a rite of passage of everybody at a certain age where you're kind of like reflecting on your life and maybe where you came from, those influences, some of those things that you need to shed and to get to where you want to go, like the choices that I want to make instead of like the expectations of others. So this song really sticks out to me as like that I would listen to regularly at that time, because I feel like what I hear out of the lyrics is about that. It's about like the transformation. It's about washing away the things that no longer serve you to go into the things that it does. But there's still like a sadness and grief that comes along with that. Like what you're shedding, the life that you thought maybe was headed somewhere, but it's not. And it doesn't mean that it's wrong. You're on the right path, but there's still like a sadness to it. So yeah.
I know what you mean. It sounds like it's one of those songs that it transports you to a very specific time and place.
Mm-hmm.
I have a handful of those, like I refer to them as like milestone songs that I could think of where I go, oh man, that is like me ending high school, meeting Chelsea, college, and things like that, where it just forever locked in a very, very specific time for me.
Yeah. So I usually will try to look up some kind of like music video or live performance when I like a song like that. So I have seen, I think it was David Letterman actually, where they came and like performed the song on it. So like their look wasn't what I was expecting either. And the lead singer, but like I follow them on stuff now and I'll listen to their new stuff, but not the songs don't hit me quite like this one did. And this was like my first song with them, but I've got no like deep knowledge of this band like maybe some of the other ones that I do on here.
Yeah. What, just out of curiosity, in your mind, since it sounded different, what did you envision Future Islands to be visually, like their vibe?
I think like a little more alternative and like run of the mill, but like even their lead singer, like, and maybe it was just for the performance that I saw, was like dressed in like something like I would think someone would wear to work, right? Like more dressed up. Kind of like sort of a new analogy, like maybe 1975, how they look, and like sometimes Maddie Healy is like wearing a suit on stage. And it's like, that isn't exactly the vibe that I thought it would be. So I feel like it's similar to that, but I feel like that their sounds are different. So yeah. And maybe sometimes it's that I don't know what I expected, but it just wasn't what I thought.
Yeah.
The visual.
I know what you mean. Like it's you didn't really have any picture in mind, but you were still surprised once you saw them. Yeah. I can see that. And they're one of those bands that like I'm like Mike, I don't know much about them at all. I recognize that song. I probably recognize a couple of others, but like I would expect, like based off of that, I would expect to like basically everything, and it sounds like maybe I wouldn't, but it's like Mike knows this, I'm really into like the electro pop, the synth pop stuff, synth wave, So it'll be interesting to see if I'm going to listen a little bit more of them. But
And
yeah.
before it slips my mind here, Andrea, I didn't know. Are you a 1975 fan? Have we never talked about this?
So I would say I am very new to getting into that. Within the last few months, I've known about them. I've heard their songs, but I've never given it the attention that I feel like I give to other music. Again, I think that just has to go with life, new job, new baby, new everything. But from everything I've heard so far, I enjoy them very much. So
we'll have to do a deep dive outside of the episode so we don't eat up over the songs. But
yeah.
I am your go-to guy for that.
What should be what album should I start with? I'll write that down and listen to that first.
Oh, so the interesting thing is, and I don't want to talk over your song too much more, but every one is so slightly different. So if you want something indie poppier, rockier,
okay,
dancier, you shoot me a message on Slack and I'll go this one kind of thing.
All right, I can do that.
Direction. But we are on to Break My Fall. Andrea, I'm going to be honest, is it Junior?
Yeah, so when I first started listening to them, before this album came out, their name was Dale Earnhardt Jr. I don't know if there was an issue with the actual Dale Earnhardt Jr., but they have now shortened their name to Junior. Yeah, so they
Your heart estate said that's enough of that.
no more of that.
Yeah.
Which when I first listened to it too, I was like, this is a weird name. I was maybe expecting country music or something like that. So when I was pleasantly surprised when I heard it. My gateway song to them was a cover that they did called Almost Lost Detroit, which is super cool take on that song. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but they're both originally from Michigan in the Detroit area. I think they're, probably in LA or something now, but I've seen them in concert a few times. Always appreciate, they are usually at a smaller venue. They feel more intimate. I saw them at High Noon Saloon in Madison, Wisconsin. I've seen them at the Lincoln Theater in Chicago. I've seen them in Detroit. So I have good fun memories of them. But this song I picked, the other song, it was just a time of life where I was going through a lot and learning a lot and growing up, I guess. And so this one sticks to me. But they're a fun, I think, Matt, if you like the synthy stuff, you probably like them.
Yeah, again, I'm having trouble hearing exactly it. I just went onto their Spotify page and they just look like goop balls, and I'm into that for sure.
Yep.
And the name itself, Dale Earnhardt Jr., is fucking brilliant.
Until they got sued and had to just drop it.
Yeah, it reminds me of Green Jello, where all of a sudden Jello was nah. And you're all right, green jelly, and everybody pronounces it green Jello.
What did you think? When you saw it, were you JR? It might be pronounced JR.
I thought so. It might be JR. Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
It's actually pronounced Gerger.
Gerger.
But yeah, I was gonna make it. Never mind.
That's all right. Because
I was I don't know.
We're on to a mutual love, especially between Matt and I. But Andrea, you're welcome to join the core of Blink fans here. Tell me, why First Day? Any reason why Take Off Your Pants and Jacket?
I mean, this album, I think, just makes me think of me. And I have these two best friends that I've had probably since 4th or 5th grade. And we all liked Blink growing up, right? One is a huge Blink fan, goes to Warped Tour still, has seen them in concert tons of times. But this was, this came out this summer. I turned 16. So again, listening to it in the car makes me think of me and my friends just hanging out that summer and all the things you do when you're a teenager and you think you're an adult, right? All those feelings and emotions. So very nostalgic. This is a no skips album for me. And it's funny. When my partner, we were going through this list and talking about it, he's like, really, Blink-182? And I was like, I am pandering a little bit. I know my audience. I know that Matt and Mike are huge Blink fans, but who wasn't in the era we grew up? Like if you didn't, probably not a person I want to be friends with. They
Yeah,
didn't
for
touch
real.
me in some way, you know?
Oh yeah, I think it is they were inescapable to a degree where I went to school with some friends of mine who are like, they would make up the lamest name ever. They're like Stink 182. I'm like,
Mm.
dude, the only thing you listen to, and I am not knocking them, but when someone listens to one band and one band only, it bothers me. I'm like, dude, the only thing you listen to 24/7 is Metallica, so you can like let it go
Yeah.
a little bit, kind of thing.
No, I also like Megadeth.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, but they had Dave Mustaine into here too.
My bad, right?
But Andrea, do you know the story of them writing not only First Date but also
Yeah,
a rock show?
Thank you. I wanted to bring that
I
up.
don't know the story, but Rock Show was like the other one. Like, should I put that one on there? And then I was like, Anthem from that album is really good too. So I don't remember what the final decision of like why I chose First Date. I think it was just like, yes, I hadn't heard that one in a while, and it hit me just right in the feels, you know?
So imagine Mark, Tom, and Travis introducing Take Off Your Pants and Jacket to the record label with all the songs you know on there, minus First Date and minus Rock Show. That was the album that they put in front of them. And the label went, it was actually their manager, wasn't it, Matt? Goes,
Maybe producer? Was it yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But he goes, there's not that like summer anthem that you're like singing along with your friends. There's no like big pop rock radio hit. And they were pissed. They were so mad that night they both went home and went, you want a fucking like pop song?
Anthem?
I'll write a fucking pop song for you. And Mark wrote Rock Show and Tom wrote First Date, and they think it's the funniest thing. They go, they're two of our biggest songs that weren't supposed to be on the album here at all.
That's so funny because maybe this just shows the immaturity and the age that we were at, but like my friends and I loved Happy Holidays, You Bastard. Like that was our favorite song. Like we got to swear in it, we'd sing it, we'd have the windows down when our parents aren't there, right? We get to sing it. So it's funny that that's the one that I chose and that's the story. But yeah.
Oh, good. But we are on to a little Hamilton right here. So tell me some more about that.
Oh, where to begin with the song? So I have a dance background, right? We've already talked about that. So I have a deep love for theater and that, and talk about bringing songs to life with choreography and storytelling. Like if you guys haven't seen Hamilton, I recommend it. If that is like your first entrance into like Broadway or like show tunes, I don't even know if that's like a term people use anymore. But it's so good. And I think it's a love story about hip hop too, just as much as I think it is about a story about like our founding fathers. But this song in particular, I chose this, like the title's called Dear Theodosia, and that's how the song starts out. But when my daughter Lola was first born, I'd always sing this to her, and her name Lola Carol fits in the same way where like Dear Theodosia, and I'd sing Dear Lola Carol, and then like I would make the song about her. So it has that feelings for me, but this is it references so many other hip hop. Like there's a song in the show called The 10 Dual Commandments, which is off of like Biggie Smalls' The 10 Crack Commandments, and just like there's so many connections that way, and just like different styles. Like there's a song in there too, like when I first listened to it, I'm like, oh, this sounds like the Beastie Boys, or this sounds like Outkast, right? So I love it for that. And I could talk about the choreography in Hamilton for hours. I could probably write a dissertation on it. So if you guys haven't seen it and you're ever like, wow, what is Andrea's take on the choreography? Slap me. I would love to talk about it.
I might have to. I will admit I have never watched it. I know some of the big songs because I feel like I know that show is such a breakout hit that I know people who just listen to the soundtrack over and over again kind of thing. Like it's that big of a monumental thing. It's not something I'm like, oh, I don't want to see that. Truthfully, just haven't gotten around to it, believe it or not. Kind of thing.
And I mean, people don't even probably realize that Lin-Manuel Miranda is the man who wrote the play. His play before that was really big, was called In the Heights. which was great. And that was actually how I first learned about Lin-Manuel Miranda. The song 96,000 was at the summer intensive dancing that I used to go to. And I think it came out in like 2008, maybe. So he wasn't who he is now and does all like the Disney movies, but even like people who have kids that might not know they know Lin-Manuel Miranda, like they actually do, because he is involved in a lot of that stuff. But yeah, love Hamilton, love that song.
I will check it out, I promise you.
Watch it. Like if you like live nearby, and I'd be like, why don't you come over on this day, we'll just watch. It's like 3 hours long, and I would just sing the whole thing to you and then tell you about like, do you see this choreography, and this is what it means, and this is how it connects, and this is telling part of that story. So
yeah,
you'd be like, why did I agree to this?
The reverse experience of a family member going like, is that Brad Pitt on the screen right now?
Just like that.
But
Sounds
we're
like-
on to
like,
sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Sounds like something that maybe we'll do after hours at Inbound.
Yeah.
Might have to, actually, yeah. But we're on to Pursuit of
I can
Happiness
tell
by
Matt's
Kid Cudi
thrilled
here.
at that prospect. He's already so excited about it.
Yeah, I'm not a play guy.
That's fair.
And I don't want to go deeper into it because I don't want to sound too negative.
Yeah, it's all good.
I don't believe that people actually like it. Any of them. Sorry.
Oh, good. We're on to a little Kid Cudi, Pursuit of Happiness going on here. Andrea, tell me a little bit more about your background with Kid Cudi.
Yeah, I love Kid Cudi. Talk about hip hop, talk about an artist that's kind of like not serious and silly, but takes the music seriously. Like, I feel like we've been talking a lot about that kind of things this week. Love this song. This makes me think of like, again, just a time in life where I was going after things. I was pursuing my own happiness and like what that meant. And maybe some of those things have stuck, or they've led me to where I'm at now, or it was just like a phase thing going through. But yeah, I think of like getting ready and going out and, you know, having a drink at the bar with some friends and this coming on and just being like, yes, this is just perfect for the vibe.
I am just noticing this now. Is this a collaboration with also MGMT and Radish?
Yeah. Yep. And MGMT is another band that I really enjoy. Electric Feel, right? That's a great song. I had that on here. I think I took it off, but there's also like a viral clip of Kid Cudi dancing to that, like while they were performing on stage, just being goofy as hell, like just enjoying life, having, you know, the best time. So yeah.
I've told Matt this before, Andrea, but there was a time where I went to go see Weezer, and it was during the era of MGMT's like Rocket to the Stars with that album right there. And Weezer actually covered the song, and it was like just so shocking to be like, Rivers Cuomo is singing MGMT right now, kind of thing. But speaking of goofy guys, that's him too. Like, he literally sang I think it was Hash Pipe while jumping on one of the kind of small trampolines. You're just bouncing around singing it, kind of thing. And I'm like, it fits the bill.
Yeah. Oh gosh, Weezer. I haven't thought about them in a long time. My older brother, I've always looked up to him. He's 5 years older than me, and that was always like one of his favorite bands. So I'd always be like, I know of Hash Pipe, I know a lot of those other songs, but I was like, it's cool because my brother thinks it's cool. So it always felt like, I don't know, maybe like a little bit of I don't know if this is the right term for it, like imposter syndrome. Like, I don't know anything about the band, I don't really know the lyrics, but like, I like it because this person likes it, kind of thing.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I've mentioned him on way too many episodes, but my cousin was always on the cutting edge of listening to bands, and some of them I like super adopted, like Smashing Pumpkins and things like that. But like, he listened to like not just a little, he was like a Marilyn Manson fan kind of thing also as well, where like I knew the songs from hearing them so much. I'm like, I know it has to be some level of cool or interesting for Bill to be listening to it, because I had the same viewpoint of him, Andrea, where I'm like, I feel like you know what you're talking about when it comes to music. So that's where I'm at.
The friend that I had that I was saying was like a huge Blink fan has probably, her name is Allison, the best taste in music out of like pretty much any, like if I wanted something new, I'd be like, Allison, what's something I should, you know, listen to right now? Then it was the same kind of thing with her. Like, she liked Blink so much. I was like, by osmosis, I also think this is good just because I trust her taste in music.
Yeah, absolutely. We are on to the second I heard this start. What a song that makes you want to, in the best way, jump through a wall. Bombs Over Baghdad, Outcast off of Stankonia. Andrea, why are they on here?
This is my gateway album to them. And you know, as I got older and when Michael and I met, this is one of his favorite groups. And he started listening to the Outkast, I think probably, when he was like 13 years old or something. He's been to a bunch of their concerts and stuff. His gateway album, his album of Outkast is AT-Alien. I always say that wrong if I'm mispronouncing it. But this was the song that, like, I remember hearing and seeing the music video on MTV, like, in the morning when I would get ready for school. And I just thought it was so cool. And I went to... It was something that my school had put on. I don't know if it was just like a dance or it was like a fun, like after the basketball game, like we got to go to the gym and do stuff. And a boy from my class, maybe he liked me at the time, I'm guessing so now that I'm an adult and I get social cues now, but had known I wanted this album and like gave it to me as a gift. And I remember like being so excited that I didn't even like go to the dance. I like went and sat in a room to read through my little booklet of the album, right? And then by feeling embarrassed, I don't know if you know it, the Stankonia album cover looks like, but like I was also like, oh, this is naughty. I'm not going to show this to my mom. Like, she'll be mad that I have this. Yeah. So yeah, love this album. I think like Michael and I were talking about this last night. The song Hey Ya is so brilliant and it's like nihilistic, and I love like the line like, you don't want to hear this, y'all just want to dance like to this song. But it was like one of those songs that it became so popular and so overplayed that it's like, if you are an Outkast fan and that's the song that somebody picks, it's like, do you really know? Like, are you really a fan, or that's just the song you remember hearing on the radio? So,
oh yeah, that's how I feel about if I'm like, put a Blink song on and someone puts All the Small Things on, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, Matt and I have talked about it. I actually wish they would stop playing it live, kind of thing, but I think it would piss off maybe 80% of the crowd, kind of thing. But I know
a necessary evil.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think if AT-Alien is contains the song it's Elevator or Elevators, I want to say it's called. But speaking of people's songs, that is my friend Camo and his wife Ashley's song. Like, they go to elevators all the time. He has it on vinyl. He puts it on all the time. So you even mentioned that at the top of the episode. Andrea just jumped in my mind. Whenever I think of Outkast, I think of my buddy. Always interesting when a band comes on. And like I was saying with Smashing Pumpkins, I go, my cousin Bill. It's the first person I think of. Here, my buddy Camo, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Have y'all heard Andre 3000's Flute album?
I haven't.
I have not, no. Is it worth checking out? No, can I go with
it's different. Really? I think like I was just so curious about it because it's Same. So different and so off of like what it is, and I like it's still on my phone, but I probably haven't listened to it since like the first time that I downloaded it.
Yeah, I gave it a good several listens.
Yeah,
and then I was like, yeah, I haven't since, but I remember it coming out and just being like, huh, that's different. Gotta respect that. That's Andre 3000 for you, you know, like.
But even though he's kind of like eccentric, and like I think that's like the lovable part about him too, and like the Speaker Box Love Below album, I think about too, like how brilliant that is, and like it's a group, but they have like their own distinct styles and sounds, and it's so apparent on that album. But yeah, like you wouldn't see Big Boy putting out a jazz flute album. Of course, Andre 3000 would.
Oh, I forget what it was, but I recently was reminded of it. I saw something. It was like a sketch. Was it like Key and Peele or it was somebody? And they were like, Andre 3000 was like.
I think I know
they were like,
talking.
It was like him and Big Boy and and he's just like Andre 3000 is just like prancing through and like I'm into flutes now and just like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I remember thinking like, how many people watching this even understand that that's actually true and not like
comedy just comes.
exaggerated. Like this is like something that he's really into, and like.
Yep, I think I know the exact skit you're referring to.
You'll have to send it my way. I've not seen that one. But we're on to rock and roll. Pusha T, Kanye West, Kid Cudi. Andrea, tell me a little bit more about this one.
These are two names that have already been on this list. I love them. This album, I believe it was released in 2022. But this is like a no skips album for me. If I need to like, you know, it's a great album to listen to, like get on the treadmill and just listen, and I can just listen to it straight through, but it's like upbeat enough that I can like feel like I'm working out to it. Same thing, or if I'm like out and about or going to be on the road for, you know, an hour, it's a great album to put on. It's so good. There's different sounds, different people that he's worked with, and different samples and things that it's so interesting. And I don't think this, when I was putting this together, I have a lot of like where I first fell in love with hip hop, but like where's my present day love of hip hop, and this is like just an example of that. I think it's a great album.
Is this something more recent? I will admit I don't know a ton. I know the name Pusha T, but I don't know if this is a new album from a little while ago.
This one, I think it was 2022 or 2023, so it's newer. I guess like if we look at my life too, if I don't know much new music past 2023, I was pregnant of 2024. I had a newborn in 2025. So it's like, I might've missed some new ones that came out. I do think he has a newer album, but this one just is it's special because I don't know if I have like an exact moment or reason or song, but this is a great one. I love the song Diet Coke on there. There's one, Remember Who You're Dealing With, that I think is great on here. And like those songs, they just sound so hard. And I think if people met me or just have like a perception of me, they're like, this does not match with what I think that I know. But it is like, it's what I like. I have like this extremes. Like I can listen to Band of Horses and City of Color, and then I can put on some Pusha T, and like those seem like two things that wouldn't go together, but I love them. I love the lyrics. I love the beats in this album.
That's always, I love that though. That's always fascinating to me, where like the last thing, or maybe one of the last things you would ever expect, is someone to listen to XYZ music, because I know you through work. What comes to mind, and Matt might know what I'm talking about. Andrea, there's a local taco chain to Buffalo, New York called Mighty Taco. And at one of the locations, there was this guy whose name is escaping me, but he looked like an even nerdier version of Rivers Cuomo. He was always there. He was always working. And one time my buddy went to pick up Mighty for us and came back, and he goes, you know that guy with the glasses? And we're like, yeah. You're like, I think he was on his lunch break, and he was like scream singing to like speed metal in his car kind of thing. Which again, like the last thing I would have expected. I would have truly been like, he probably listens to Weezer or something like that. Just the last thing I expected of him, like not only being into that, but just clearly yelling so loud that somebody heard him from the outside. But we are on to a little bit of Lauryn Hill right here with Do Up That Thing. Andrea, this one's a classic. Tell me more about that.
Total classic, but total one of the ones like people think they're a Lauryn Hill fan if they just like this song, or if this is the only one that they know, but it's also so damn good, I don't even care. And I think one of the first things I remember about this is the music video. Again, little 11, 12-year-old me sitting in my room getting ready for school and seeing the dichotomy of like 50s doo-wop paired with late 90s hip-hop, and it was a female, and I think like I was just totally like drawn into that and her style. And of course I didn't know the meaning, like I could kind of know at that age what this song meant, but just how it's changed over the years and how I've gotten older. And I just think this is like an album that's ahead of its time. Like I don't know if that's been said about it before, but it's just so good, and I still feel like so relevant. And this is a great song, but I think another favorite off of this album is a song called Lost Ones. I don't know if you are familiar with that one, but that one's cool.
I think Lauryn Hill and Fugees and everything she's ever done is no matter how popular any of it's gotten, I think it's a perfect example of like subconscious racism and subconscious sexism that she's not like among the biggest artists of all time. How like the amount of talent and how important everything she's ever written and done. I can't overstate it enough. And I know that's like a really big statement, but just unbelievably incredible. Yeah. And that's when I kind of like go about certain things like Taylor Swift, like am I glad that people get joy and inspired by people like Taylor Swift? Sure, yes, absolutely. I want people to find joy wherever they can, but this is the type of thing that I put everything up against, and when I don't need it to sound like it or be exactly like it, because that would defeat the purpose. But like, this is the level of quality that I'm like rating everything on, and other things that I, think are similarly quality, high quality. So,
I'm so glad there's at least one song that you like.
I like a lot of this.
Yeah. Incredibly talented. There's a song, and it must have been something I've read about her in the past, the song To Zion, which is her son's name, and how a lot of people were like, yeah, you shouldn't have a kid, you're going to ruin your career, you're not going to want to do this. And like, it didn't at all. If anything, it probably made her that much more of a dynamic and a well-rounded individual and then artist. But I think about like, to win album of the year as a female rapper, like I might be wrong, but I think she was the first one to have done that, to have won that in that category for that genre as a female. So I think who has come since her, like right now we've got like Megan Thee Stallion, Doechii. I don't know if you guys have listened to her at all, and her rap, like so good. And I like, there's that saying or that trend where it's like, this person walked so these people could run, and like Lauryn Hill walked so Doechii could run, right? And she just won female album of the year, or maybe it was rap album of the year at the Grammys last year. So I've been enjoying getting involved in her catalog as well. But again, to go back to where it started and my love for it, like this was definitely the foundations of it. And what a foundation to have, like you said, Matt, like if you're comparing everything else to this, everything just seems like right? Yeah. Like, how do you top this?
And not everything else. I mean, there's a lot where it's not like everything I listen to, I'm like, oh, is this as good as Lauryn Hill? Like, I don't, I don't even know her catalog that well, but anytime I hear it, I'm like, yep, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm thinking about. That's the level of quality. That's the benchmark, right? That I'm thinking of, and there's a lot out there, but I just, I think she's singularly talented and
brilliant, if I could use that word for her.
Yep, you can.
That album was such a moment in time in the best way, where like I have such an odd memory attached to that album, where like I remember it being everywhere, and it was on the radio, and like you said, Andrea, it was on the TV all the time. But like there was one time I even went to like the local library, and somebody was on one of the public computers that you could use, and sitting next to them was their Discman with that CD next to it. I'm like, and even as a kid, I was like trying to wrap my head around. I'm like, this is something like that. There's just people I'm seeing in the wild listening to this kind of thing. It's just truly one of those things where at that young age, realizing what like somebody's stardom taking off.
Yeah.
Like I was seeing it happen right then and there.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I can remember that, or it was like palpable at the time, and maybe not that it hadn't happened before, but I think I was just at the right age to like realize it. But yeah, that's my list. I tried to keep it to 10.
It's hard to. Trust me. If you ask Matt, if you reversed it on Matt and I, we would easily crest 10, because we would go, There's one more. Here's an 11th, and then keep rolling with it. It's way too difficult, and we always say, if you got another list in the future, Andrea, and you want to share another 10 to 15 with us, please hop on again.
I do have a question for you guys that I was thinking as I was going through this, because I think we're all of the age that we didn't start with CDs, we probably started with cassettes. So I know that I had some cassette albums. But do you remember like what your first CD was that you bought or listened to? I'd love to know.
Cassettes, a little blurry, just because
Yep.
I feel like there were so many that I acquired from family members that were probably really old ones. And then like so much so, like I remember being like, as a kid, I'm like, oh, well, I want to buy the Toy Story cassette kind of thing. And then before I knew it, I have Randy Newman on cassette kind of thing. But to a T, I vividly remember the first CD I ever bought was Weird Al Yankovic's Greatest Hits.
I feel like my brothers had that one too.
Also,
that
Andrea,
was like Fat and
it's like it on there and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've said it on the show before, but Andrea never shared it with you. He also holds the title of not my first concert ever, but my first 2 concerts ever was him singing.
You might be the only person in the world, maybe that can say that. My first CD and my first 2 concerts. Where were they? How did you get to a Weird Al Yankovic concert?
So we, at the time, although I grew up in Buffalo, there was a short stint of 3 years where we moved to a suburb outside of Albany called Clifton Park. And I don't know who discovered it. It must have been my mom or my stepdad at the time, because it was during the bad hair day era that Matt and I look back so fondly on. And I eventually got that CD and things like that. And so I was listening to those, and one of them must have heard on the radio or saw in the newspaper or something that he was coming here. And before I knew it, like I don't remember asking to go see him. I just remember told like, hey, you're going to go see him. He's going to be right there kind of thing. And they weren't joking. I still have to do the research. I said this on a different episode. I got to look into if this venue still exists, but to my recollection, it was a small venue in Clifton Park. It was one of those concerts in the round where the stage is in the dead center with seats perfectly surrounding it. The thing is, I don't know if he didn't sell enough tickets or if he didn't want to be spinning the whole time, but they only filled about 60% of it. It just crested a little bit beyond like a partial circle that you would imagine. But boy, in my memory, even as a kid, he was right there. Like I was real close to him. And also I remember him like walking up and down the aisles while singing songs. And it was just to me to be like, he's there.
How old were you when this happened?
I lived in that Clifton Park area. It had to have been 4th or 5th grade when I saw.
Yeah. That's like 10. What's it, like 10, 11 years old?
Something like that. Life-changing.
Yeah. I think like regardless of whatever your first concert is, it's very impressionable, right? Like it's something I always remember. My first concert was at a fair and it was 98 degrees. Like I was also a young child when all the boy bands were popular, right? So this was like it's like the poor man's version of like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys was 98 degrees and they were at this Midland County random fair in Michigan. And I remember my best friend and I going and being so excited about it.
There was a local to Buffalo Kiss 98.5 contest that happened every year where Maryvale High School won quite a few years in a row. And we didn't get 98 degrees, but we got, if my recollection is correct, BB Mac one year came and sang at the school.
Know that band or group? I haven't thought of it in probably 20 years, but yeah, that rings a bell.
Who was the group with Omarion was the lead singer? I'm blanking on it.
I feel like it has a number.
B2K.
B2K.
Yes.
It's like I
B2K
feel like
came to the school and the teachers were clutching their pearls when they got on stage. You could see them get real tense, like, oh, we didn't expect this. And it's in our auditorium, like where also my classmates are doing plays and musicals and singing their choir and playing jazz band on the stage. And then same stages where B2K is ripping their shirts off and things like that.
That's hilarious. Matt, where's your first CD?
It's tough to really nail down just based on, like, I was given some, you know, but certainly Dookie was in there. Oasis was in there. Absolutely remember one of the first CDs I remember buying as a child at Media Play was Joan Osborne. I remember that really, really well. So, and honestly, Bad Hair Day was definitely among the first. And yeah, REM, forget which one, but yeah, there's been there were a few that I remember, like, that were definitely that. I think my mom would probably say it was the Joan Osborne, because I remember it was her that took me to go get it, and she was like, "You sure you want this? Like, I'm not sure you're gonna like any of the other songs."
I just had to like look up, like, Google like a song of hers. She looks familiar.
Isn't that What If God Was One of Us?
Yes, that's the one
it
that
was
I
a huge hit. Yeah,
Monstrous.
yeah. Alice at 92.9. That was the radio station that played a lot of that, like, alternative, adult alternative, Lilith Fair style stuff. So
it was like the MTV to VH1, where, like, you're not on 103.3 The Edge, but you are on Alice, kind of thing. Yeah. Andrea, what about yourself? First CD?
This is a question I'm asking because Michael and it spurred us to talk about this last night, right? Like, what our first CDs were. So, like, I know the first time I spent my own money on a CD was like when you would mail that thing in for like 12 CDs for like a penny. Yeah. And like, then I never paid for them. And it's probably still on my credit report somewhere. But I had gotten, the three that I can remember that I got were the Spice Girls, because they came out. That was like that time. Jagged Little Pill, which, again, what a great album as an adult to like go re-listen to, right? And this one's embarrassing. Mace. Do you guys remember him?
It's not embarrassing. It's not embarrassing at all.
So that was actually probably like if I was being fair to my hip hop group, that was probably like the first album that I listened to. But like, I was looking at it last night, I'm like, none of these are like songs that I think we'd want on this podcast.
Oh, I want Mace on every playlist.
What is your favorite Mace song?
It doesn't really matter, but probably Welcome Back. But I had to look it up recently because I use that as like a GIF all the time when people are like out for a while. They're like, "Hey, I'm back." I always send "Welcome Back," and then I was like, "Oh, is he like?" Because he was so intertwined with Puff Daddy Diddy. I was like, "Oh, is he problematic? Should I stop doing that?" And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, no, he's not." And there's a reason, like, he kind of went away, and it's because he was actually opposed to a lot of it. And I was like, "Oh, cool." So I can still like Mace. I love it.
Yep, not as problematic. I think he became a pastor or something after all of that, and still might be, or very religious.
Doesn't always mean that you're unproblematic.
That's fair. That is a very true statement. But yeah, Harlem World, that was like my first probably like rap album. Other than getting a gift from the boy that liked me at school of Stankonia. So those were the beginning days. But yeah, I think I had like bought a lot of single CDs like before I bought actual CDs. But yeah, those are the three that I can remember. And I don't know like what order they came in, like what was my true first one, but those were it.
Love it.
CD singles were my jam back in the day, Andrea.
Yeah.
When especially once it started becoming like a my own money kind of thing, I would go, I don't have enough to like make the whole album work, but boy, could I listen to Just Semi-Charmed Life on its own by Third Eye Blind. So
I can buy it
I'll
for
just buy
$1.
that.
And that's the thing. I get a whole CD even though it has one song on it. That's what I liked about it. Like I still got a CD. Yeah, it's funny what you remember. This seems so weird, but do you know what song always, if I hear it, it immediately makes me think of Matt Zalesko?
What is it?
Where have all the cowboys gone?
Oh yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
I think you had like a tagline in LinkedIn or something when we first started working together that had it on there, or you had maybe you posted about like buying a domain that was called like Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? And that is just like, I think that was one of my first impressions of you. So like, that's just, it's stuck. And that talk about songs you hear in the grocery store. I feel like I always hear that when I'm grocery shopping. And I'm always like, this makes me think of Matt Zalesko.
Speaking of Joan Osborne, that squarely lives in the same pocket as that for me. And also Meredith Brooks, if you remember her from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But Matt, you read my mind. There's a reason why I stopped sharing. Tell us a little bit more about what's on screen here.
This is wherehaveallthecowboysgone.com.
Nobody knows.
No.
I buy lots of domains and just make. Sometimes I don't do anything with them. Sometimes I throw up an emoticon. Sometimes I do other things. But yeah, no, I've had that one for a long time. I also had let that, like when I started at Radish or at Remotish, I owned it and I had this up there and everybody thought it was hilarious. And then I let it go away. And at one point, Jen, she was like, "Where is it?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, you want me to put it back up?" She's like, "Yeah, it's hilarious." And I was like, "All right, cool." Yeah. So I've had it ever since. And
well, you left the impression. It's there forever. I'll be 80 hearing that song, being like, why do I pick a Matt Zalesko when I hear this?
Beautiful. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for sharing your songs here.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, as we're heading towards the exit door, anything you want to plug before we say farewell?
Geez, put me on the spot like that. Other than like Radish, our great team. I'll plug Hamilton. Listen to it, Matt. You might actually like it. You might like a play, and you don't even know it.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was funny that you said like nobody actually really likes the stuff. I do. Even if I was the only person, I would still admit that. But
I know I don't believe you. No, I'm joking when I say that, but I just can't wrap my head around anybody liking going to watch a play. Like, I don't know.
Maybe Hamilton's the one that changes it for him, but we'll see.
Maybe.
Good ones. There's lots of good ones.
Again, I'm glad that people find joy in it. I'm happy for people, but I don't believe
I also have an affinity to that of choreography and music and all of that.
I know. Me saying that is just like deeply offensive to you, and I get that.
Oh, I don't know about deeply offensive,
like,
but it makes me think like, oh my gosh, how can I? It's hard for me to understand how someone could watch that and not find joy in it. So it's different. It's the difference.
But that's all the different perspectives. There's bands that people have brought to us on here. There's bands between Matt and I where Matt knows I love them and he goes, they're fine, kind of thing. And like, it's all about different perspectives. Everything hits everybody's ear a little bit differently. So no shade. Again, if it's making you happy and they aren't problematic, go for it.
Sometimes even if they are problematic, enjoy it in your own four walls. No, I love this. I love this idea. Like, I don't know if this is considering like plugging you guys, but again, to just step out of like this role that just feels so consuming of becoming a parent, to like talk about things that I liked before I was a parent, and that even I don't know, some of it hits differently now. Like even something like the Band of Horses and City and Color that I've loved for so long, and I listen to stuff and it gives me a totally different perspective on it. I can't say that many rapper hip hop songs do that, but those for sure. And so it was great to put this together and a nice trip down memory lane. So thank you.
You're very welcome.
Love it. Thanks for being on.
Yeah.
All right, Andrea, thank you so much again. And for our listeners, thank you for checking us out again. We'll see you on the next episode. Later.